What's good, folks? It's your boy LeNZ, and thank you for coming back for another week of devotionals. This week I'm gonna do it a little different. I'm not gonna read the scripture because it's pretty popular, but it is found in 1 Samuel chapter 17 if you want to read it, and I will be talking about David and Goliath. Now, the thing about David and Goliath is, as so many people have put it in the past, it's a story about overcoming adversity, the small destroying the strong, or overpowering the strong, and it's all, and all that's well and good. But the thing that really made me think about it for this week is how David, who at the time was still young and he was not a warrior, he was a shepherd, and he was just there to visit his brothers, to, I think, bring them some lunch. Kind of got caught up in a situation where anyone looking on would think it would be too much for him. But it wasn't too much in his mind, because it was really him just continuing to do everything that he had already been doing in the past while tending to his father's sheep. As a shepherd and, being out in the wilderness, there were lions and there were bears and there were other animals that would come up to try to take the sheep and try to eat the sheep and all that, and he had to defend the flock from these animals, and he did that usually with his slingshot. So he had pretty good aim with it. So here he comes to the battlefield to bring some stuff to his brothers, and he hears Goliath talking all this junk, and he's like, yo, who's this uncircumcised Philistine? Like who is this dude talking all this junk? Because in David's mind, he wasn't just talking junk about his country, he was talking junk about his God. And he just wasn't going to have that. So now mind you, Goliath was talking this mess and no one else was stepping up. Not the king, not any of his brothers, not any of the other soldiers, none of the other warriors, none of that. So when Goliath was out there looking for someone to come and challenge him, David decided that he was going to step up. And he didn't have that fear because, like I said before, he had come across bears, he had come across lions, and he had come across other larger animals that would have made any other person run. But he defended the flock and was able to, kill those animals. So when David, spoke to the King Saul at the time, and decided, not decided, but he spoke to King Saul and said that he was going to take on, this challenge. King Saul was like, okay, well, at least somebody's stepping up, but here, you need armor, and gave him his own armor. Now, when David put the armor on, he realized, I understand, you want me protected, you want to make sure that I'm safe, but because this armor doesn't fit, I can't really move how I need to move. Like, I'm used to fighting and I need to be able to fight a certain way. And I can't do what I do if I have this heavy armor holding down my arms or holding down my legs. So what David decided to do was he put the armor to the side. He went and got, some smooth stones, from the riverside. That's where he usually found them. And when he approached Goliath, and Goliath laughed, before Goliath went to charge, he approached him with all confidence in his ability, because not only was he used to doing it, he knew that he was defending God's people. He knew he was standing up for God's name. And the Lord had provided in this area so many times for him in the past. He knew that he had nothing to worry about, dealing with Goliath. So when Goliath went to step up and try to get to him, David hit him with that slingshot right between the eyes, knocked him down, took his own sword, and cut off his head. Now, for those of you that haven't read the story or haven't heard the story for yourself, that can seem kind of gruesome, and it kind of is. But the reason why I brought it up was because David used what he was able to use. He used the gifts that he had. He used the abilities that he had to conquer something that was so much bigger than him. Now, keep in mind, Goliath wasn't just a large man. He was a giant. Some say he was 8 feet tall. Some say he was 9 feet tall. There aren't many people in this world now that are that tall. You know, so David used his abilities to handle a situation that nobody else was equipped to handle. So the reason why I bring that up is because you have abilities, I have abilities. We all have things that we can use to make things better for somebody else and for other people that we need. Like, I need you to use your gift. I need to hear you sing. I need to see your artwork. I need to hear you speak. I need to, see you doing well in school, because you succeeding helps me succeed. We when we all work together and we all do this together, we all come out as winners. It's not just for you, and it's not just for me. It's for all of us. So when you're thinking about what's going on in your life this week, and you're facing a situation that you may feel like it's too big for you, just know that you've already been called to destroy it, and then you confidently step up to the plate and handle it. All right, thank you for checking out another devotional this week. I enjoyed sharing it. If you like it, please like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that you can see everything that we put up. We don't just put up devotionals every Monday, but we also put up interviews with local artists, and then also some live concert footage. If you're in the Boston area on the 27th of May, in a couple of weeks, myself and a business partner, Christy, that we will be speaking Friday night at Holy Tabernacle Church, which is 70 Washington Street in Dorchester. We'd love to see you come out, come give us some support. Actually, that same night, our business partner, Ariel Chanel, will be singing. So if you've ever heard her, you want to check that out. So definitely come be a part of, the conference that we will be speaking at. And if not, I'll see you next week. Peace.